So today we're going to talk about seasons, and we're going to look at the two reasons why we have seasons, and then we are going to learn how to identify a season using an Earth-Sun model. So first we're going to look at the reasons why we have seasons. So the first reason we have seasons is because the Earth is tilted. Because the Earth is tilted, it allows for direct sunlight to hit one half of the hemisphere while the other half is getting indirect light. And so that is going to cause an uneven heating of the Earth's surface, and that's going to allow for different seasons to occur at different times. The second reason we have seasons is because the Earth revolves around the sun. So because the Earth is moving around the sun, we will experience seasons. Okay, so now we are going to look at a model, and we're going to see how we can identify what season it is based on the position of the Earth and where the sun is at. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to look at tilt. Remember, tilt is one of the main reasons why we have seasons. So I want to look at the tilt of the Earth, and I want to identify which Earth is tilted towards the sun. So I always start in the northern hemisphere. Remember, this right here is the northern hemisphere. And I want the Earth that the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. This will always be summer in the northern hemisphere. Okay? The Earth revolves around the sun in a counterclockwise direction, so we're going to always go counterclockwise. And then we just want to go in order of the seasons. So the order of our seasons is going to be summer, fall, winter, spring, and then it goes back to summer. So if fall comes after summer, my next position, position D, is going to be fall in the northern hemisphere. Position C would be winter in the northern hemisphere. And then our last position, position B, for the northern hemisphere would be spring. When we look at an Earth-Sun model and we're looking to identify the seasons, summer and winter can only occur on the sides. Spring and fall will always occur on the top and the bottom. But again, tilt is going to be the determining factor of which position is which. Okay, if we're looking at the southern hemisphere, we would still want to go through and we would want to identify the northern hemisphere. And then whatever is occurring in the northern hemisphere, the opposite will occur in the southern hemisphere. So for position A, the southern hemisphere is experiencing winter because they're getting indirect light, and so it's going to not be as warm in the southern hemisphere. Okay, going counterclockwise for the southern hemisphere. If D is experiencing fall in the north, in the south it would be experiencing spring. Position C, if it is winter in the north, it would be summer in the south, which makes sense because the southern hemisphere is receiving direct light from the sun, direct energy from the sun, so it is going to be warmer. And then last but not least, position B, if it is spring in the north, it will be fall in the south. So whatever it is, it would just be the opposite in the southern hemisphere versus the northern hemisphere. Okay, so this is one type of model that you would need to be able to label to identify the season, whether it is in the northern hemisphere or in the southern hemisphere, but it is not the only model. So this next model that we're going to look at has the Earth tilted a different direction. So again, the first thing that we want to do is we want to identify the Earth that is tilted towards the sun for the northern hemisphere. So in this particular model, this is going to be summer in the northern hemisphere. We still go counterclockwise, so position 4 would be spring. Position 1 would be winter. Position 2 would be fall. If we wanted to know what the season was in the southern hemisphere, we would just do the opposite. So position 3 would be winter. Position 4 would be fall. 1 would be summer. 2 would be spring. Okay, so these are going to be the two main models that we look at. In both models, you see that summer and winter are only identified on the sides, and then fall and spring are only identified on the top and bottom, but it does change based on the tilt of the Earth. So that's always the first thing that you want to look at when you start to label a model. If you have any questions, let me know.